This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so welcome everyone. Welcome to our fifth session, the second one of the day. It is 10:30 and we are here for District 4C4 Lions Club's officers training. This session is devoted for service chair people. And I welcome you all on behalf of Lion Governor Helen Casaclan, who has been the main mover behind these club officers trainings, and also to our district governor-elect, Lion Fanny Chu, who is going to benefit, I hope, from the knowledge that all the people who are being trained are going to experience. Welcome also to First Vice District Governor-elect Lion Dr. June Valera and Second Vice District Governor-elect Lion John Huey, who just presented just before this on membership. At this time, I'd like to do a little housekeeping. We will ask everyone, as in all the previous sessions, to use the chat box to present your questions. Your microphones will be, because unfortunately background sounds have a tendency to make their way in, barking dogs, ringing phones. So in order to keep everyone from being distracted, we will be turning off the microphones and asking you to use the chat box. Also warn you to be judicious in what you write in the chat box or what you might say into an open microphone. That is important to keep in mind. So with that in mind, I'd like to introduce our speaker today. Our presenter today is Lion August Valera, the son of our first Vice District Governor-elect. He is a member of the San Francisco Phil Lamb Lions Club, and you'll notice that is a young man, but in his short term as a Lion member, he has done some amazing things. We're expecting some fantastic things from Lion August, beginning with his presentation here in just a moment. So Lion August, I will turn over control of the screen to you and take it away.
All right. Thank you, PDG.
I'm going to
Mario.
mute everyone. So if I mute you, turn yourself back on, please. Okay.
Okay. And can you hear me?
We can hear you.
So. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Thank you again, PDG Mario, for the excellent introduction. I hope to meet your expectations. Although I am a young person and have a lot of ideas, like I do know that I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and I have a lot to learn from everyone. So we'll try to make this informative presentation to you all. But I look forward to hearing your feedback and anything about that after the presentation or in person some other time. So once again, I am Leo Lion August Valera. I currently serve as the district social media co-chair alongside Mark Casaclan. And I am going to be presenting today as part of an ongoing series of club officer trainings by District 4C4 on the club service chairperson position. First off, why am I presenting this? The first reason is that our current global service team chairpersons, Lion Michael Chan and PDG Macy Mac Chan, weren't available. So I'm sort of the backup here. And the primary reason, I think, was because I have a lot of experience with using the MyLion app that we use to report service projects. And that's one of the key areas of focus that we're going to be going over today, as it is something that our district is somewhat lacking of. So first, an introduction. Okay, how do I? Okay. So whether you're attending this webinar in person or listening to the recording after the fact, I would like to thank you for the time that you've spent today to learn about this critical role in your club and in our organization. And I truly mean critical. Lions Clubs International was founded by Melvin Jones in 1917 as an organization devoted to service for our fellow man. This is highlighted in our motto, "We serve." Today, Lions Clubs has existed for over 100 years with more than 1.4 million Lions members, 47,000 Lions Clubs, and is spread across 200 countries and geographical areas. We are the largest service organization in the world, and service is nothing new to us. even within our own district, District 4C4. And for those coming in from outside or listening after the fact, our district comprises of all the Lions clubs in San Francisco County, San Mateo County, and the city of Palo Alto. Within District 4C4, we have a club that has already experienced its 100th charter anniversary. So if you've been a Lion member for a while, you've probably been serving for a while, and you know how important service is to our organization. So service is instrumental, and you, or maybe someone else in your club, but you're also attending to listen in, have been selected as the club service chairperson. Our goal today is to give you a basic understanding on what the position entails, what responsibilities you have in this role to our club, our district, and Lions Clubs International, and what resources are available to you. I would like to acknowledge that our attendees probably come from a lot of different backgrounds and bring varying levels of experience. Some of you are from traditional clubs, there for a long time, say maybe San Francisco Host, Millbrae, San Bruno, and you're like you've been here many times. You probably heard this training or a similar training many times. And for you, I hope that you keep an open mind, listen, and maybe you will find something like a small tidbit here and there that you haven't heard before or forgotten, and you take that back and you improve in tiny ways. Some of you come from non-traditional clubs, say a cyber club, or a club with a very specific niche, like a specialty club with a focus on a certain service goal, or has a specific criteria for membership, like a veterans club. For those, I know that not everything will be applicable today, but I hope that you try to apply what is important, or what the main points, to your club, and try to fit the resources that I give to you towards your club and change it to suit your needs. And lastly, some of you come from clubs that have difficulties, like maybe you haven't been serving enough, maybe you're already suffering with membership, and you don't feel like you can focus on service before you focus on these other things that will enable you to eventually become stable and then focus on service. To you, I say, well, service, like I've already mentioned, we serve. The serve part is in the logo, is in the motto. It's important and it's critical to our organization. And sometimes service can sort of solve these other problems that you might be having. PDG Ken has already said in another session that only through service can we recruit new members and we can foster new leaders. And I do agree partially with that. It all goes back to service. So let's move on. And feel free to post on a chat if I'm talking too fast, or if you want me to clarify. If there are any questions or something that is sort of a tangent, I'd be happy to address that at the end of the session if there's time. But I'll be monitoring this and listening to it. So first off, we have the standard club structure. This has been posted on pretty much every other club officer position training. This looks a little bit different than it used to. 4 years ago, we did not have a service chair. Service reporting was originally a function of the club secretary in MyLCI, which is our reporting tool that Lions Clubs International gives us in the form of monthly membership reports and service activity reports. Some of you may actually be secretaries, and you're here because you don't have a service chair in your club, and the secretary currently acts in both of these roles. That's fine. But look here where the service chairperson position has been placed. Oh no, I clicked on something. Let me present or view. Sorry about that, apologize. Okay, we're back to where we started. Yeah, look at where the service chairperson position is. It's over here. It's not next to the secretary, surprisingly. It's over here in what we call the club global action team. Now, you may know that your district has a global action team, and each person is responsible, or each set of people is responsible for a specific focus. That is leadership, membership, and service. The club also has a global action team. That's why this club structure has changed, and why the service chairperson is its own position, and over here on the right. Each member focuses on their focus, with the president acting as the overall head of the global action team, as well as the overall head of the club. And each club officer position has its own role, but you're supposed to be working together. And as a service chair, you'll need to rely on each member of each of your officers. Say your secretary will be your backup if you're unable to fill out the service activity report. As the person who used to do that, the secretary will need to step in if you're not able to, and is overall responsible for reporting to Lions Clubs International. They will have the same permissions as you do as far as reporting to International. The marketing communications chair will be responsible, of course, for marketing and promoting the club. And in that, they'll need to promote the service activities that your club is performing publicly, like on Facebook, on social media, etc. And there will be a training session later today. I believe it starts at 12:30. Anyway, there will be another training session right directly after this one on the marketing communications chairperson.
You're quite, no, it starts at 12.
Okay, perfect. You'll also need to rely on your LCIF coordinator to handle the application and the disbursement of grants if you do decide to apply to LCIF or the California Lions Foundation for grants. You'll need to work with the membership chair in order to recruit alongside your service projects. Like, your service projects are an opportunity for you to make your club visible and recruit new members. And then lastly, I would like to point out that you do have a service committee. You shouldn't feel like you're responsible for doing this by yourself. You will have a structure behind you, and that would be the chairpersons of each of the service project committees that the president will appoint. Those will be reporting to you and assisting you in your duties. So what are your duties? Well, you're part of a global action team, but your job is to keep the ball on focus. You're focusing on service, because like each of them have their own leadership, membership, service, but service, of course, is critical to our organization. And it's not just like, you're not the only person who focuses on service, obviously, because every Lion should be serving. We serve, but your job is to make sure that if it strays off track, if we're focusing less on service and more about, like, meetings, and if there's some, how do I put this? Yeah, I'll get back to it, but the main point that I was trying to say is that you are the, if the club is not focusing on service, you're the one who should try to shift that path and try to get us back on the path of service. And I think someone unmuted themselves accidentally. Gonna mute them. And I've split these roles and responsibilities into 3 sections, what I call planning, publicizing, and promoting. First, there's planning. You're responsible for setting up the club action plans. This is what LCI refers to as the plans that for service projects that take into account the service goals of the club, what the club members want to accomplish, or what areas they want to affect, and then also take into account the needs of the community, because you can't have a service project without someone to serve. Like, even if your club may want to focus on one particular thing, like where there's a need, there's a lion. There has to be a need. In your planning, you should also try to involve youth, and particularly Leo's clubs, if you have a Leo's club in your club or sponsored. And lastly, this is probably the most obvious, but planning involves the practical and logistical planning that goes into running a successful service project. This may mean planning yourself, or again, if you have that support group, meeting and overseeing with the various service committees focused on each particular service project. Okay, after that, we have publicizing. And in regards to the service chair, what I really refer to as publicizing is actually internal publicity or reporting. I just called it publicizing because I wanted the 3 categories: planning, publicizing, and promoting to start with the letter P, but I mean reporting. So for reporting, as far as Lions Clubs International is concerned, you must be reporting your service activities via MyLion. And we have a whole section about that at the end of this presentation, so I'll glance over that briefly now. And also, you want to be reporting your service projects in award applications So there are many awards that take service into account, including the Club Excellence Award, which is that logo at the top right. And there's also a new Kindness Matters Service Award that International has recently introduced. We don't have too much information yet about what that entails, but it'll be available July 1. So you want to be applying for these awards because once you've done the service, now it's time to be recognized. Like this is just an icing on the top of the cake. Like the service is important, but reporting is equally as important. And lastly, as far as District 4C4, our district is concerned, you should be reporting to, your role is to report your service activities and your activities to the club in general to the district in the form of the thread, which is a weekly publication published by the district at, I believe, every Sunday at 5 p.m. You can email that email address and they will list your service projects on an email that goes to every Lion or every Lion who signed up in the district if you want them to join you or support you. You'll also have...
They generally have that a deadline of 5 o'clock on Friday for submissions for that Sunday's thread. Just to interject there, Lion August.
No, that's a good point. Yeah. So have it in by Friday, so it'll be posted the following Sunday, and then of course it'll be posted every week whereafter up until the event has taken place. There are also zone and region share reports that when you have these zone and region share meetings, then you'll be reporting your service activities to them, and they will be aggregating that into an overall region share report. They will report, and I put that below, to the cabinet meetings that happen quarterly. I've also included club reports for the cabinet and council meetings because maybe you know this, but if you're new, you wouldn't. Every quarter we have a cabinet meeting, and every month we have a council meeting because our district has councils. So there's the San Francisco Coordinating Council and the Peninsula Council of Lions. That's two different collections of Lions clubs. And in both those meetings, the club president usually makes a report as to what projects the club has done or what projects they are currently planning to do. And for that, you would need to prepare your president to be able to report those. And lastly, we have a club contest sort of program, and this is you have the opportunity to compete with all of the other clubs in the district, and by reporting your service towards those various criteria, the club contest chair will probably present this at the first cabinet meeting. You can earn basically awards for your club for doing the most service in particular categories. Then lastly, there is promoting. And then this is within your club. You should be, as the service chair, you're the one focusing on service. You should be encouraging member participation in your projects. Also, you should be looking towards recruiting and involving new members in service projects, particularly because these are the people who maybe, like, you know, for unexperienced Lions or for Lions who are new or for Lions that potential Lions, this is the way that you can get them into your club. It's by involving them in service and really letting them see what our organization is about.
Yeah.
Can someone, or Mario, can you find out who that is? You also have, you should also be promoting district service activities. We'll go over this in a list later, but the district also has its own service activities that it puts on, and as a service chair, you should be aware of those at the very least, and then also be encouraging your members to participate. Next, you should be promoting the initiatives of Lions Clubs International and Lions Clubs International Foundation. We'll see those main ones in the next 3 slides, but you should be encouraging your club to participate in service projects that meet those needs. And also, it depends on the current sitting international president that sometimes they'll put a focus on a particular service goal, such as a few years back, it was planting trees with past international president Wing Kung Tam. And we planted over 15 million trees as a whole, Lions Clubs International, because because LCI gave us that focus and we worked on it. And lastly, you should be promoting usage of the MyLion app. Again, we'll discuss this at the end. But MyLion is not just the place for you as the service chair to report your service activities, but every Lion has the potential to be using the MyLion app to report, or not to report, but to post activities and to plan activities. And anyone with an internet connected device or any Lion or Leo can and should be using it. So next, I'll be discussing Lions Club's international resources. And this is the resources that LCI has available to you. And over there, your starting point is the Lions Club's international website, lionsclubs.org. But really, the real starting point here is the club service chairperson page. This is the thing that's most pertinent to you. I put the URL up there. It's pretty long, but you know that it usually with LCI's website, it's easier to just search it up on Google. Like here, I can see service chair lionsclubs.org, and this page was the first result. So that's my go-to way to find it if you can't find it. And I will mention that you will have access to this presentation after it's been recorded, and it'll be included in the video description. And each of these blue links is clickable. So once you open this presentation up, you can just click on here, click on here, click on the picture, and find those resources that way if you're. Okay, so now when I said that's your starting point, this actually, the first link on that page previously is the Club Service Chairperson ebook. And this is actually a collection of resources available to you. It includes roles and responsibilities. Actually, I just pulled those previous 3 slides out of this ebook. So it lists all of that there. It has links for global causes, your first 30 days, ongoing tasks, and then some legalities and technicalities. And all of these are references. So I should mention that I don't expect this presentation to be complete. I just expect it to be sort of a reference guide to you. Like I won't discuss everything. Like it's probably impossible, like considering Lions Clubs has 100 years of service. So we have a lot of information and a lot of resources available to you. So I'm only going to go over the key parts, give you summaries, and then I ask you to look towards these resources at your own time later and then read through them. And well, specifically the parts that are pertinent to you. Okay. So first, and I'm going to go over each of these with the exception of roles and responsibilities in its own slide. So first, links for global causes. LCI's original focus was sight when Helen Keller made us Knights of the Blind. But over time, we've included 4 other key focuses, which we now call our global causes. These are diabetes, environment, hunger, vision, and childhood cancer. So I would say that the first half of the ebook, not including the roles and responsibilities, is just dedicated to these 5 causes. And these are like walls of links is the best way that I describe it. I won't go into detail each of them, but each page, which is dedicated to a specific global cause, has a list of project ideas. And these are documents GST 1A, 1B, 1C, all the way until 1E for each of the service projects or service causes. And then it has a list of project examples that relate to these causes. Say for diabetes, it could be a screening. For environment, it could be tree planting. You get the idea. And then it also has information for each cause's chairperson. So within your club, you may have a chairperson for each of these global causes or the ones that your club is interested in. And then for that, there's a whole other section of resources just for that specific cause's chairperson, if you have one. Next would be your first 30 days, which is sort of the recommendation of LCI of what you should accomplish within the first 30 days of taking office. Congratulations, you have the first one already completed, district officer training. You're here right now. The next is the club and community needs assessment. This one I'll go over later in detail. And then the last is the service activities calendar. It is recommended that you keep a list of the service activities that your club plans to do or has done previously in the past and wishes to continue in a sort of calendar that you present at each meeting. And the best time to start forming this calendar is now. You should be talking to your previous service chair or to, if you didn't have one, talking to your secretary about what club activities you did in the past and what you want to continue. For example, my club does health fairs every October through December. So our service chair would probably already have a list of those and then with like potential dates, potential venues, etc. For the service activities calendar, as far as organization on a district level, Previously, we used Google Calendar. This was during PDG Macy and term. We introduced a district Google Calendar that has sort of fallen to disuse as of late. Now it's recommended actually that you use MyLion as the way to collate this calendar. Because with MyLion, you can list future service activities. And then all of your club members who use MyLion can open that up and see all of the activities the club is planning for the future, as well as the activities that we've already completed with what impact they had, like the statistics on it, like people served, hours worked, etc. But you don't have to do that. I know that your club, your way. There may be different ways to organize your information, and it's up to you how you maintain this list of service activities. And I know some clubs have a bulletin or a monthly or weekly newsletter that they post out with activities they plan to perform. Others have like a physical calendar of sorts that they bring to each club meeting, and then you can see what's up next. It's really up to you. Okay, next we have ongoing tasks. So monthly, you should be announcing, and this is in reference to the service activity calendar. Announcements and updates at your club meeting is just what service activities are coming up, any changes to that or any updates and reminders. And then of course you should make it actionable. When you bring it up at your club meeting, you should bring a sign-in sheet, or you should have something, and you should in some way sort of get some commitment that your club members want to be doing this and will be attending these future events. You should also be reporting your service, ideally as they happen, but if not, preferably every month via MyLion. And why do I say every month? Technically, LCI says that service activity reports are closed at the end of the year. So you have until the end of the year to report any service that has happened within that year. Like, it'll let you do that. But actually, MD4 runs an export of these service activities every month, and those are given to the district governor and are used to rate the districts and how well the districts are performing as far as service. And this isn't even clearly articulated. Like, I don't know when it happens. I don't have too much information on that. Maybe the district governors can speak on that later. But really, clubs have no way of knowing that this happens, because say for the membership report, there's a little check mark in my LCI for every month that you fill out the membership report. So it's very clear that you want to do this every month. For service, it's really ambiguous. So I would say that just try to do it every month if you can. For quarterly, what you need to be doing is reporting to your zone meeting, reporting to your zone chair and region chair at your zone meetings, if applicable, and we've already discussed this. And then ongoing, it's recommended that you keep a project book, which could be physical, it could be something online. It's just records of what project you've done in the past, what has worked within those projects, and what hasn't worked. And you can use that as reference when you're planning future projects to sort of improve your workflow. Okay. And lastly, the last section in this ebook is legalities and technicalities. There is the use of fund guidelines. Your club treasurer is really the one who handles this, but as a club service chair, you should be aware of it. It includes public funds versus administrative funds. That's the summary. It's you can only use funds that you've collected from the public towards service projects. You can't use them for administrative purposes, as that is dues. There's also the general liability insurance program. As a member of LCI, you're under LCI's insurance, but you have to fill out forms in order to do that. So there's certificate of insurance, which you can use as proof of insurance, use of the premise, and issuance of permits. And there's also supplemental insurance, which is comprehensive general liability, which is up to 1 million per occurrence and 3 million per year. Just read the form, know what insurance is available to you. It's there for you. It's in the ebook. There's also use of Lion's trademark, which is automatically authorized in almost all cases, provided that the club name is visible. Like, you can use the Lion logo for social media, letterheads, etc. but read over the guidelines for that. There are some particular guidelines as far as what you can sell with the Lions logo, if you can sell at all, and you might require contacting LCI Legal on that. And lastly is the LCI Privacy Policy, document LG21, which basically means that you must get written permission before disseminating any public information. Okay, sorry, this is, I feel like I'm a fire hose right now, just spewing out all this information, but don't feel pressured to write everything down. I'll be giving you the slides, as I said, and look at them on your own time.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Other policies of note, MD4 has the youth protection policy. It's available on their website. It's new though, so I don't have too much to report on that. But check out md4lions.org for the youth protection policy. And then I'll also briefly mention these may be applicable to you in your service projects. The HIPAA, which is if you're collecting any health information, you have to keep records of that. Photo release, which is essentially if you're taking a photo of the public and using it in like Lions publication, like you're posting on social media, it's usually safe to get some approval, preferably written, before doing that. And lastly, privacy. There's the CCPA, which is California Consumer Privacy Act, and GDPR, which pertains more to the European Union. Just look into those if you think that they'll be applicable. Okay, oof, I need a drink. Okay, next I'm going to go into resources for planning service projects. And these are particularly, I'm going to focus on two of them. That's the community needs assessment and then making it happen, a guide to club project development. If you signed up for this seminar, then you would have received in an email from Lion or PDG Mario these two documents as attachments. Otherwise, there'll be a link in the description. So first, actually, I'm going to play a video from LCI, and I want to make this interactive. So if you can, please feel free to type in the chat as you see if you remember, these global service causes, like the 5 causes that I mentioned in LCI. See if you can see those mentioned in this video or in this, yeah. All right, so that's the introduction to what Lions Clubs International calls the service journey. So for getting these resources, you'd start at this site here. Oh, let me check whether you can hear me. I think you can. Okay, you start here. We've already gone over the global causes. So on this page, there's also the service toolkit, which is actually what we're going to be focusing on next. There's also the service launchpad, which we'll also cover later in this session. Service stories, which is just some examples of successful service projects. And I think they have some nice videos there with some Lions clubs from across the world on what service projects they've held and what were successful. And then there's Campaign 100, which is part of our foundation, LCIF. So the service toolkit, another list of resources. There's a lot of lists here. So the Club Quality Initiative is something that the president would probably have already been presented, but it's a way to improve your club. The club and community needs assessment, that's what we're going to be talking about. And then there are more guides here for developing local partnerships, fundraising, and why service reporting matters. This last one will actually be discussed in this presentation as well. So, community needs assessment. This is the first resource that I'm presenting from LCI. And this is a workshop to identify worthwhile service projects based on club strengths and weaknesses and community needs. It's one workshop, takes 1 to 2 hours. You can take this back to your club if, and actually it's recommended that you do at the beginning of the year to sort of reevaluate whether the service projects you're currently doing are affecting the needs of the community, and also sort of stimulate new service activity ideas that pertain to these community needs. And here are the questions that we asked during this assessment. What are your strengths and weaknesses? What area of need motivates your club to serve? Like, that's internally, what within your club members, what areas do you want to serve? And then externally, what are the needs of my community and what resources are available? It's actually somewhat similar to the SWOT training done by NAMI, strengths and weaknesses, strengths and challenges, and then opportunities and threats. They don't focus too much on threats, but they do opportunities for sure. So yeah, this is one resource available to you. There will be a link to it, and you can, if you have this presentation, you can click on that. The other resource, this is Making It Happen, a guide to club project development. And this is actually a series of workshops to plan and implement service projects from within your club. So each workshop has its own focus or its own stage. So first, these steps are pretty self-explanatory. You make a list of programs, that's one session. Then you appoint task forces to handle each particular program. You conduct research, see which one's feasible, which ones you can get community involvement in. Then after doing that research, you write a plan, and then you implement the plan. So this is another, and I am really not doing this resource justice. If you open up the document, it's like 5-6 pages long with like specific key points that you can use while doing these workshops. So that's another thing that I recommend you do with your club. And like, you can present this at a series of your club meetings. You can do it as its own session, up to you. Next, we have the Service Launchpad. Here's the website, lionsclubs.org/launchpad, pretty easy to remember. And so I've mentioned, I've been like a fire hose mentioning all of these links, all of these PDFs, all of these documents that are available to you by LCI to conduct specific club projects. But it's probably hard to find. It's hard to keep track of these. So what LCI has done is they've created this sort of interactive questionnaire where you put in whether it's a Lion or a Leo program, what cause you're trying to address, what's the timeline, what's the scope of the project. Is it going to be a one-day thing? Is it going to be like a one-week thing? Is it going to be ongoing? And then who are the beneficiaries? And then based on that questionnaire, it'll give you a list of resources, a list of documents that you can read that are specific to the service project that you're planning to put on. So that's a good way to start. Of course, it's not exhaustive. It might miss some things, but it's there as if you just need to filter out the cruft and find what documents might be relevant to you for this particular time. This is there for you. And lastly, grants. I'm going to be very brief on this because you have an LCIF coordinator and we have an LCIF, or your LCIF coordinator should be the one handling the grants, but know that there are grants available to you for your service projects, and you'd have to look at the specific criteria for each grant to see whether you're eligible for it. And on that note, there's also the California Lions Foundation, which is another place where you can get grants. I don't remember exactly which training this was discussed, but there is another training on that. I think there's a treasurer, actually. The treasurer also was presented the different foundations. So look to the treasurer training if you're interested in that. Next, now I've already discussed what I've discussed. Everything up until this point was from international LCI resources. There are also resources given to us by our district, District 4C4. And these are, for the most part, listed in the district directory and presented at the quarterly district cabinet meetings. Now, you will not get a directory as service chair because we don't have enough, and they're like the size of a phone book. But we will be giving one to your president and your secretary, and it is up to you to refer to or like ask them if you can take a look at it for reference for each of these service projects that I'm about to present. And I'd like to say that I am not qualified to present on each of these projects because they have their own district chair. Like each project here has its own, like we don't want to get into that. So I'm going to list them. And then if you are so inclined to look at one of these causes in particular, one of these district service projects, feel free to contact the service chair or the committee chair for that particular project, either by reading their report during the district cabinet meeting or approaching them in person during the district cabinet meeting or using the district directory. So here are the LCI projects that have district committees within our district. So cancer, hunger, etc. All of these projects are projects of LCI, and we have a committee for them in the district.
Lion August?
Yeah.
Just a quick mention, you mentioned that not everyone can get the district directory, but I do believe that they are going to be making the directory available online.
Oh yeah. I don't know if it'll have everything as far as like personal information of like the addresses and phone numbers of each committee chair, but I do hope that it would have at least the email. So that's, yeah, that'll be available to you. It's new. We don't know too much yet about how that's going to work, but I look forward to it. Next, these are the district endorsed projects. These are the projects that the district as a whole has decided to put as a district project. It's been voted in by our constitution. And this includes the new Global Initiative for Health and Wellness that Lion Mario has mentioned before. It's just this is the new addition to that. And it's not complete because there's a whole second slide on that. So yeah, we have a lot of projects at the district level that we've thought are important enough to promote as a district project. And then aside from endorsed project, the district also organizes service projects that the club members can participate in, and we encourage you to, as the service chair, to make your club aware of these service projects as they happen. They'll be posted on the thread, and encourage your members to attend and join our district as a whole to do service. And some examples of this here, we have Strike Out Hunger, Rise Against Hunger, St. Anthony's Dining Hall, and Eyeglass Collection. Those are the 4 that I found mentioned in the thread as I scrolled through it, but there are probably more of them. And lastly, the district does have some resources available for your club projects. And 2 that I've highlighted here are the Guardian Angel AED CPR program and vision screeners. So you'd request more information about this from your region chair, but essentially, if you have a service project within your club, somewhere, and you'd like to have an AED, an automatic electronic defibrillator at that, you can rent one for free from our district, and you just ask your region chair and they'll give you the AED if it's available. And same with portable vision screeners. These are like little small cameras that maybe you probably need some amount of training. It takes probably like 3 hours. No, that's the official training takes 3 hours if you want to become a certified vision screener with KidSight USA. But the actual training necessary to take a picture of someone's eye or their retina and get results takes about like 10 minutes, I would say. Like it could be summarized in a 10-minute training. So these are available to you if you want to use them in your club service projects. Okay, we've gotten to the meat of it. This is the important stuff. So I've probably stressed this enough already. Actually, maybe before we get into this, are there any questions? I'll ask, or Lion Mario can.
Okay.
Yeah,
there are a couple of questions that just came in from Lion Rocky and L3. He said you have some information about the Health and Wellness Initiative, and I was just typing out that yes, I believe that they have their own website. So if you just do a search for Global Initiative on Health and Wellness, they have that. Lion Delia is asking, are the webinars recorded? And the answer to that is yes, they are. And so those will be available on the District 4C4 website.
Yep. Oh no. Okay, cool. And if you think of something, write it down and I'll be happy to address it at the end of the session. So now we're going to go into what our district has decided to focus on as the most important part about being a service share, which is reporting your service back to international. Because you may do service projects, but it is equally important that you report those service projects after you complete them, so that, and actually I'll go into the reasons for that in a second. So, but here the first step is I have some 3 links available for you. The first is lionsclub.org/service reporting. And this is information about reporting your service. The actual way to log in is lionsclub.org/lion account. And you may know this as myapps.lionsclub.org. There are many ways to get to it. You can go to lionsclub.org, the main site, and then click at the top member login, and then get to it that way. And then last is a forum, is a Facebook forum put on by LCI staff called My Lion Support. And you can post your questions to LCI about why certain parts of My Lion aren't working, etc. Like how to do this. Do they have any intention on adding this feature? Because again, I'm presenting this on behalf of the district. We don't control My Lion, we just use it. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns that My Lion doesn't work properly, please address those to LCI and not me, because I can't do anything about that, except try to help you figure out why it's not working. But I'm equally confused as you are. So next, I'm going to play yet another video from LCI. And this time it's from our president, Jung-il Choi, who is going to be our president again next year due to the coronavirus, and see if you see any familiar faces in this video.
Lions, we've been serving communities around the world over 100 years. But now it's time for us to go one step further. We must make sure each club is reporting every service activity in My Lion. Yes, there have been some challenges around the service reporting, but there are so many benefits for us to keep trying. This is how our association can best measure our impact, identify ways to work together, and bring attention to great work. A service project is not complete until it's been reported. Report your service on My Lion today.
Report your service.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. PDG Ken, I have no idea how you get in all of these videos, but it was great seeing you there. At least the first time I saw it, I was amazed. Okay, so My Lion. What is My Lion? Hopefully you already know that. If you don't, then that means we've been doing a bad job. But My Lion is a website, and it is also a smartphone app. Here's another short link that you can use to get to it, app.mylion.org. And for smartphone, if you want to point your computer or your phone camera at that code on the bottom right, it'll open up the install link or the website if you're on a computer. Okay. So what is needed to start using My Lion? That would be like, and this is the information that each Lion member would have to provide in order to open their account, their Lion account. That is the member ID, full date of birth, email or mobile phone number, and then they have to create a password. And all of this information, in order to create the account successfully, must match the information on the club roster, like exactly. And that's also, the club roster is basically my LCI. So first, member ID. Another way to find this, or like first, ask your secretary. Your secretary should have all of this information. If you don't, if it doesn't work for you, But member ID is also on the address label of your copy of Lion magazine that you should receive every other month now. It's the first number under the asterisk, or the first number under the asterisk in the address label is your club number, and the second is your member number. Now, your date of birth. Previously, the Lions Club application, member application, only asked for the year of birth. So if your date of birth doesn't work, try January 1st on the year of your birth. And actually, if that is the case, you should be asking your club secretary, please update this for me. Email or phone number, you only need one, and you can use either of them to log in, but it has to be what you provided either in your original Lions application or whatever was updated by your secretary. So contact them if it doesn't work out for you. So your club secretary should already know how to do this, but if they don't, they should get on My LCI and go to My Lions Club reports and then member information update report. That is form MBR 0201. This will create a PDF that they can give to you with all of the required information listed here, including your member number, etc. And then some more information, like it's basically all the information that the club has in their roster on you. Ask your club secretary to keep your contact info up to date. And the one caveat is that this form that I mentioned, MBR 0201, actually only asks for the year of birth. So it's not even up to date. You have to give the full date of birth, even though it only asks for the year of birth. This isn't so that it works properly. And if your club secretary does not use technology and isn't able to do this for you, the club administrator position was made for this purpose. So then ask your club administrator. If both your club secretary and your club administrator aren't able to get on My LCI, then we have a problem. Then this is well, I'm not even going to get into that. It should be discussed. Like they should go through the training to do that. Now, for creating a service activity, this can be done by any Lion member. Any Lion member who has an account or who is able to get a Lion account can create a service activity for the club. These are the different fields that they ask for when planning a service activity. And like I mentioned previously, you can use this as the club calendar record book, because any Lion member in your club, or in fact any Lion member in the district or internationally, can find your club and then see all the service projects that you have planned for your club. So that's one way that you can spread information about future service activities. You can also see what other, like I mentioned, you can see what other clubs are doing within the district, multiple and worldwide. And if a member is registered for My Lion, and then at the bottom here, the different fields, invite members to or clubs, you can either invite individual members to a project, or you can invite the entire club to the project. And if you do that, any Lion who has already signed up for My Lion will receive an email notification that they've invited to this project. And lastly, within My Lion, or not within My Lion itself, but in the My Lion, or the Lions account suite, there is the Insights tool, which you can use to see various statistics on your club's impact. Now, the most important part is reporting a service activity. And now only core officers, that is the service chair, secretary, and I believe the president, and then of course club administrator, which is just essentially a proxy for the secretary, can report officially a service activity. So what happens is that anyone creates the activity before it happens, and after it's done, one of these 4 core officers has to go back and then fill in the details listed here, which is the impact of the activity: people served, funds donated or raised, number of volunteers, number of volunteer hours, and community impact, which is just sort of a text box where you can write what you did in your project and sort of how you impacted the community with it. So only the core officers can do this, and this is just sort of to keep accountability as far as reporting. Like, these numbers should be accurate. Maybe not, they can be estimates if you don't know exactly how many people you served. Say if you plant a tree, you don't know how many people benefit from this tree, and we have some guidelines later on how to report that. But it should be like the club officers and the club itself is responsible for making sure that you're reporting the numbers correctly. So that's why only the officers can do it. Any questions?
Yes. Who are the core officers? I'm assuming presidents, vice presidents, the ones.
Yeah. So it is president, secretary, and you, service chair has that permission, and then also club administrator, which is basically the secretary. I think I don't know off the top of my head if the vice presidents have it. I believe it's hard to tell because I'm a vice president right now, but I'm also a secretary. So it's I do know that those four are guaranteed to be able to. I don't know if there are any additional people who are able to.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to, now that
Question.
I've sort of on, oh, anything?
Yeah, when I was doing the reporting on my Lion, you cannot. Oh, when I was putting the hours, the event happened in real time. So when I put in not, the hour started and the hour ended, and during that process, it deleted me or I could not input, and something happened. I forgot what it was, but I couldn't do it in real time. That's all it was that got me.
Hmm. So I'll probably go back to the fact that I'm not LCI and I'm presenting how it should work. If it doesn't work due to bugs or due to functionality wasn't implemented the correct way, then I can't really speak on that. I'd be happy to talk to you offline about any troubles that you have. And again, of course, you can also contact LCI directly, either with the email that they have at the bottom of my Lion, I believe, and also using that Facebook group. But yeah, I don't. I want to, as much as it is probably practical to talk about some of the hiccups that you may have, I don't really know how to triage them, and I prefer to talk about how it should work so that when eventually, hopefully, when they do get it working perfectly, this video is still up to date. So I'll hopefully that satisfies you for now. So now I've discussed the sort of the basics of my Lion. I've sort of introduced you to it, but now how do you get your club members to start using my Lion? And the key to that first, and like what are some resources available to you to present my Lion to your club? And for that, you would go to lionsclub.org/service reporting, and there are 3 PDFs there that can help you to get your club acquainted with my Lion and start using it. The first is My Lion, How to Report and Celebrate Service. And this is actually great because it's a basic walkthrough on how to report a past service activity using the web. So it's limited only to the website, but it has screenshots. It has step-by-step guide, like click on this, click on that. This is perfect for those who are not too acquainted with technology. And the best part is that it's maintained by LCI. So LCI has put this on their official website. So this hopefully when changes are made, they will update this. I would acknowledge that there are unofficial guides floating around that are more in-depth, like maybe a couple pages long with a lot of text, putting some of the hiccups and what doesn't work and how to fix those. Those are also fine, but I won't advertise them here because they're not sanctioned by LCI officially, and they might become out of date, and I don't want to mislead you. Next is Why Report Service, and this is a one-page document that you can use to evangelize reporting. And for that, I mean like for a club that doesn't really get the benefit of like, why do I have to report? It's just extra work. Like I'm already doing the service. I'm helping my community. Like why put on that extra work? This will hopefully convince them and you, if you are one of these people, that you should be reporting your service. And it's broken up into 4 sections. Individual benefit, and by individual they mean an individual club or district. Why report service? Because it promotes knowledge transfer over time. If you report your service, future club members who are doing a service project can look at the past service projects and see what's worked well and what hasn't, and improve their workflow. It's also for local pride and recognition. Like you want to be recognized. Like you may not be doing it for the recognition, but you should be recognized for doing good things. And lastly, it's for club awards. I've already covered that in detail. For collective benefit, that is all of the clubs and districts. It shows where clubs are making a difference. Like what service impact we have as far as like diabetes, hunger, each of these different fields. And it impacts Lions Clubs International's reputation to potential partners. Like by reporting your service, we can say Lions Clubs International planted 15 million trees. And because of that, we're getting partnerships, we're getting funding, we're getting donations to LCIF because you've reported your service. And lastly, it increases membership. By having these large statistics, we can in turn invite new members to our clubs because we can say, hey, we're an effective organization. We serve. We really serve, and we have the data to prove it. Now, for benefiting those who served, it helps us allocate our resources effectively with data, spreads good small service projects and creative ideas to other areas by showing all of the service projects, and then we can surface up ones that other clubs should be doing. It spreads knowledge within LCI, and it shows usage of LCIF grants. And lastly, the additional benefits is it really, your project isn't finished until you report it. Like you can't just leave it hanging and then like not do the last step. Like voting, it seems small, but it adds up. And reporting itself is service. And that's not me. That's LCI that wrote this on the document right here at the bottom. So if you're spending hours collecting this data and writing these MyLion reports, I guess you can be reporting this in MyLion as service activity. Or like this is a sort of administrative task, but it is service, and you can report this in MyLion. Like the fact that you're reporting your service. It's very meta. And I'm getting very close to time, so I'm going to speed through this. Lastly, measuring service impact for Lions. If this is a very helpful and very in-depth, it may answer a lot of your questions on reporting, like what is service, what is considered a service activity, and what is not. What metrics should you be collecting? How do you calculate volunteer hours if you're, say, doing a multi-club project with multiple Lions clubs, or if you're doing something like planting a tree where there's no like number of people served, and also some special considerations. I already put that. I said that already. Yeah. Sorry. Special considerations to take into effect while you're reporting your service. And then I was supposed to do a practical demonstration, but I think we are close to over time, so I'm just going to skip that, but say that we would like to have a MyLion training separate from this. Service chair was overall with reporting and all of that, and all of the other roles, but I would like to have a MyLion training separately some other time.
Lion August, we can go until about 10 minutes until noon, at which point I have to close the room down to prepare it for the next session. But you do have until about 10 minutes to noon.
Yeah, so we have about 15 minutes, and I think maybe it might be better used. I can do it if there are no questions, but if there are questions or input, another thing that I would have liked to do is open this up. If this was an in-person training, at this point I would say, okay, for any service chairs or other Lions who have successful service projects in the past, what insight can you offer to that? But since it's on an online format, it might be difficult. We can try. So at this point, like this is the end of my PowerPoint presentation. So what would you like to do? Questions or?
Now we do have some questions, but I do think how long would it take to do that little demonstration?
I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. I'm not too sure. It depends on whether MyLion is working today, right?
Why don't you give it a shot? Let's take a look at it, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. So let's exit out of here. So I am a Lion. I'm just by that I mean, okay, oh, it's weird. Okay, so say I'm gonna go to lionsclubs.org because I don't know I don't remember the full thing. I do remember it. It's myapps.lionsclubs.org, but okay, that's interesting. Clubs.org. There we go. I typed it in wrong. So, but say I don't remember the full link, and all I remember is I'm a member of Lions Clubs, and I remember it's an organization, so lionsclubs.org. So next, how do we get to that service reporting place? member login here. Yeah, that's, so look at the top. Remember this, member login. And I'm already signed in, which is inconvenient for my demonstration. So I'm logging out real quick. So this is where you'd be next. I've already created a Lion account. If you need help, or if you haven't done this before, you probably don't have one. So you'd click register here and then go through all those steps. I won't go into that in detail because we can do that later, or like we can do that in another training session where we're onboarding. So I would sign in here. That is unfortunate. What?
That happens to me every time. Press the back arrow. Go arrow back to the previous screen.
I'll try the beginning actually. See, even I, as a millennial, you know, who's done this how many times? Sometimes. Oh, you know what? Actually, I know exactly.
It happens to me every time.
No, I remember I was testing something out and I changed my email address on my Lion to a different email just to see. So that email isn't. So no, it was working fine. I just forgot my email and it happened, you know. So now we're here, and this, as a club secretary, I also have access to my LCI, but this, my Lion here, report service, plan service projects, etc. This is where you want to click on. Also, there's Lion Shop, Insights. This shows the statistics that I mentioned earlier, and this is the Lion Learning Center, which where you'd go if you want to learn more about your role. There's actually a training session for service clubs or service chairs that you can click there. But I'm gonna go My Lion, and excuse me if I do this fast. Okay, now we're here. So this is my club. At the very top of my Lion, we have report a past activity and plan a future activity. So I'm going to plan, I'm pretending to be just any Lion. Any Lion can do this, plan a future activity. Now it'll ask you a series of questions. First is the activity type. Is it service? Is it a meeting? Let's do service. This is probably and then I click to continue at the top right here. Next, you see what cause. These are the global service causes, and there's also other. So pretend like, okay, I'm thinking in my mind now, I'm gonna put on a health fair. What does health fair have to do? Is hunger, environment? No, maybe diabetes, but it's not particularly diabetes only. It's other things too. So I would click other. Health fair. Advocacy, this isn't individual. There, other health service project. That's close enough. And if you get to this point and really nothing fits, then other service activity is an option. So you click what project type or what. And now I'm on this page. And here is all the details that are required to put on a service activity. And any Lion can do this. Health fair. I type in the name, place, sure. Okay, you know what? Let's put I'll just find a local church of mine. I'll put St. Augustine Church. I'll put the address there, and you'll notice that it auto completes it for you if it's a valid address. When will this happen? Random times, just throwing it out there. You'd put when your activity happens, and okay, I'll say some difficulty here is you can type here if you want 6/13/2020 if that's easier for you. Or when you click it, this thing pops up and you might be confused first. This is calendar. How do I get to another month? It's up here actually. So different months there. You can also click on this and you'll see if you want to plan, a couple years in advance, you can do that. But you can click, so say 2020 and then December. That's another way to do it. And then you click on the specific date and then that disappears. Same with the time picker. You choose to use this, or you can just type in. Actually, I think for this one, because here you can type in the number, or you can press the arrow to adjust that. So sometimes this confuses people who, don't see it appear and they keep clicking it, but that's how you change the time. And now this is a very long service project. Activity description. This is an empty field where you can put anything about the service project, like what you're planning to do. You can use this as sort of a notepad where, because this will be public, sure, but you can put.
Sorry, August, I had to mute everybody. Can you open your microphone again?
Yeah, I'm in. So then I'd put everything in here that I thought would be pertinent for everyone else who wants to attend this service project. So like, and then, okay, whatever, blah. I'm not gonna do that yet. And then privacy settings, I recommend just keep it open, but you can limit it if you need to for any reason. You can have it be everyone can see is the default, and everyone can join. And then at the very bottom here, I click continue. Now, this is the portion where I can invite people. I can either invite a specific person. I'll type the name, and then it shows the name of the person and the name of the club. And this shows that, you know, every lion everywhere. So you can invite a specific person, or you can invite your entire Lions club, your club over here. You just click the little green check mark, and then everyone that you invite shows up, or everyone that you're going to invite shows up on the right. And like I said, you'll get an email about this. Something that I found useful is that if you want a lot of your club, but not all of your club, you can click on all of your club, and then you can filter out, like it's easier to get everyone in your club in on it, and then cancel the ones who, like, say maybe they told you I'm not able to attend that weekend, so there's no use in inviting them already. So you can just cancel them out. It's easier to take it off than it is to type in every single name that you remember and miss someone. But again, this is only to invite people, to give them a notification and to put them as one of the invitees. But again, that visibility is really what determines whether you can see. So anyone can see this, because I put everyone can see, anyone can see this project and join if they see fit. And it says invites will be sent when clicking continue. I guess I'm gonna.
I'll tell you what. At this point, Lion August, where we are running out of time. There's 8 minutes left. Can you go over to the part where you input past service?
Yes, yeah. That's a good idea. I should have done that first. Report a fast activity. So here, if a club member has already created the activity before it has taken place, it'll appear up here as unreported. And actually, we have a lot of work to do. If not, you would click on this report plus button. Okay, and here is the form that you would fill out to report a past activity, starting with the name, see, start date, and again, this is sort of self-explanatory. Just fill out this entire form. Cause here, I put other health, and it's the same. It's basically the same information in a different format, right? Like as you can see, it's all in one. Should have put health there. Single day or multi-day. We can see this everyone. And this part here, activity details, is the important part, because you can see here funds raised. Oh, because I put fundraiser. That's like I'm confused here. Service activity. If you put service activity, then it asks for the cause. Then here is, yeah, you can see this is what they expect. It's all very interactive. How many people served? Give an estimate if you can't. Read that document on how to estimate if you to sort of come up with this number. Total volunteers, 1. Volunteer hours, this is number of volunteers times how long the event took place. So if you have 2 people working 2 hours, you've got 4 volunteer hours. And the reason why they do that and they don't just multiply it yourself is for some granularity, in case, say you have 1 volunteer who showed up halfway through, then you can sort of subtract that. Additional metrics, what is this? Oh, if you want to include funds donated, put 1 here. See this everyone, and then this is the place where you put the descriptions of what you did in the event or in the service activity, who you served, you know, what services you provide, etc. I'm not going to press this button because this report's international, and that would be that's not this isn't the real service activity. But basically, you press the save button, and then you press another button which says report, and I believe that is like it'll ask for confirmation, and then that's it. That's report as past service activity. And as you can see
Wow.
here are the past activities that have been reported by our district.
Wow,
All
you've
right.
made that amazingly easy to understand, and thank you for the demonstration. And we've got a few people here who are thanking you for the demonstration as well.
Yes. Okay. I'll put out publicly my email is lionaugust@icloud.com. I posted it in the chat if you'd like to ask me for any follow-up, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to assist you with those. Any other questions, or do we have to close?
I do have to close this up pretty soon. Thank you for the demonstration. Thank you for your presentation. I told people ahead of time that you were going to put on a fantastic presentation, and you certainly have lived up to that. We do have one person, Lion Venetia, who is already volunteering to be your campaign chairman for your district government. And
I'll hold off on that.
Certainly we're expecting big things from you, Lion August, and thank you for your amazing presentation here this morning. And actually, we still are in the morning time. Say before, as we're running out of time here, that this presentation will be available on the district website, and guess who's in charge of doing that? That would be Lion August.
I'm working on it.
A man of 1,000 talents. We do have a presentation coming up at the top of the hour at 12 noon by PDG Canberra, is going to be presenting on public relations, communications, and social media. It is important to get the word out to our members, to the community regarding our activities. It is a main theme of our incoming district governor, Lion Fanny Chu, and I believe Lion Fanny is going to be chiming in on that portion on that session as well. So unless anyone has anything that they're really pressing to say, I'll be closing the room in just a second, and I'm going to stop the recording right now.
I want to say thank you.